a really good program of mitigation. And if you look at the charts that Dr. Berg showed the other day, they're still down there doing well. And the reason is, again, what I've said before, but I think it's worth reiterating, that we have two opposing forces here. The virus, which wants to do what the virus wants to do. Viruses transmit from people to people. When people are separated from each other, virus does not transmit. It doesn't go anywhere. And that's the reason why something as simple as the physical separations, because if you look at the vice president's chart that he shows all the time here from this podium, every aspect of that ending the COVID outbreak in 30 days has some aspect of it of physical separation, whether that's avoiding crowds, whether that's staying 6 feet away from people, whether that's doing teleworking. All of it does that. That's our most important tool. We'll be talking about vaccines and drugs and things like that that will mitigate later. But this is what we really have to do. And I want to actually just plead, as I do multiple times from here, to the American public, as sobering and as difficult as this is, what we are doing is making a difference. So we really need to continue to do that. I must tell you, I was just mentioning to the vice president as we came in, last night when I wasn't here, I went out with my wife and actually did a little power walking down Massachusetts Avenue. For those who live in Washington know what I'm talking about. And we passed a couple of restaurants where people were getting takeout food. The restaurants were closed to people going in, but they were open to takeout. And I saw something that absolutely made me feel really, really good. They were separating themselves by at least 6 feet. In fact, some of the restaurants had little things on the floor that said, stand here and then stand there. And I think if we as a nation pull together to do that, hopefully when we keep coming back here at these press conferences, we'll be able to show you that that curve that we keep talking about is going in the right direction. And I'd be happy to answer questions later. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, please.
You said earlier that the virus is springing up in areas you did not expect. Yesterday you said some states in the country are not in jeopardy. The fact that this is unpredictable, isn't that an argument for every state to have one of these state
I don't think
awards?
so. Look, there are some states that you have great distance, natural distance, big land, few people, and they're in very good shape. And if there is a case, they can quarantine that person, or that person will be separated, will be brought to a hospital, a secure area. So you do have different cases as opposed to a New York or Los Angeles. Los Angeles is doing incredibly well, by the way. But areas where you have lots of people tight together, it's a big difference. So, no, they're different. There are many different cases. Please.
Mr. President, you mentioned the military off the top. So 1,000 troops going to New York. And then are we expecting other mass deployments around the country? And then is it just the Army? Is it?
No, not mass. Many of the places are really in great shape. They really have done a fantastic job. And we may add to the 1,000, but New York will be getting about 1,000 military people, nurses, doctors, lots of other people, because that's what they need. Yeah, and that's medical. No, medical military. Please.
Sir, you tweeted earlier today that you liked the idea of a second coronavirus task force that was focused on reopening the economy.
Thinking about it.
So I was wondering if you were planning to go forward with that.
Thinking about it. Getting a group of people, and we have to open our country. You know, I had an expression: the cure can't be worse than the problem itself. Right? I started by saying that. And I continue to say it. The cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. We got to get our country open.
In terms of reopening, can you talk about your call with the sports commissioners? Did you say you'd like to see people back, fans back in arenas in as soon as August?
I want fans back in the arenas. I think it's by whenever we're ready. I mean, as soon as we can, obviously. And the fans want to be back, too. You know, they want to see basketball and baseball and football and hockey. They want to see their sports. They want to go out onto the golf courses and breathe nice, clean, beautiful, fresh air. No, I can't tell you a date, but I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. But, and, you know, we're not going to have separation for the rest of our times on the planet. We need it for this period of time, but eventually people are going to be able to occupy those seats in arenas next to each other, like we have for all of my life and all of your life. They want to sit next to each other at restaurants. They don't want to be 6 feet away. And some restaurant man called up. He said, I'm worried because I have a small restaurant with not too many seats. I think he said 120. And he said, if I practice what this is, I'm down to 30 seats. I can't make it. I said, don't worry about it. That's for a short period of time. You'll be back to your number of seats. We can't do that. Otherwise, you're making everything. That means your stadium is half the size of what it was a month ago. No. They're going to be close together, but they're going to be breathing air that's not infected, that's not going to kill people. Please.
Since you're not committing to pack the stadiums by August, what are your contingency
Well, I'm not
plans?
committing to it. I'm not committing to it. We're going to see where we are. That'd be great if we could. But we're going to be back to good health soon, in my opinion. We're making a lot of progress. And we're making progress because, as Tony told the story about the restaurant and about how they were separated sort of automatically, people are doing that. People are doing that. They're staying in their homes. They don't want to go out. They're doing what they know is the right thing to do. It's not very complicated. It's, in many ways, it's a very beautiful thing to see. Yeah.
What is the plans for the Republican National Convention?
We have no contingency plan. We're having the convention at the end of August, and we think by the end of August we'll be in good shape. We have no contingency. It's going to be in North Carolina, as you know, in Charlotte. And I think we're going to have a gregreat convention. I notice, I think we had an opponent, but I almost didn't know who it was. He got 0.00001% of the vote. But I heard he dropped out 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm not sure. Maybe you could tell me. That's the kind of opponent I had. And hopefully we have another one just like that in Joe.
Mr. President, this weekend lawmakers are working on the next round of relief packages. What was not in the stimulus package that you signed last week that you would like to see in phase 4?
Well, I think we're going to need more money for the small businesses. It's been working out so well. It's been so efficient. The banks have been doing an incredible job. I think we're going to need more money there. I think. We'll see. But based on the first couple of days, it's been incredible. I think that restaurants and entertainment, that would include sports leagues, all forms of entertainment, go back to the original, where they get tax deductibility for what they're doing, and for people come in and buy tickets or go out for meals, and corporations can then send people into these restaurants who are going to have a hard time otherwise opening, in my opinion, and that could be the same for the sports leagues. So we want to see for entertainment and for restaurants deductibility so that corporations can take a deduction. They'll send their executives, they'll send people there, and they get a deduction. That is something that will really bring life back to the restaurants. I think make them hotter than before. They used to have it. And when they ended it, it was really never the same. It was never the same. Yeah, please.